Welcome to Global Risk Community Chat. Today our guest is Merlin Linehan. I'm very happy to have you here today, Merlin. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, morning. Thank you for having me on the show. Really, really kind of you. My name is Merlin Linehan and I'm a risk manager at the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the EBRD. And my work is focused on crisis management and business resilience. Yeah.
Sounds great. So with that being said, thank you for your short introduction as well. So what kind of topic you would like to share with us today?
I want to talk about managing geopolitical and political risk. We hear a lot about politics and geopolitics in the news and, why conflicts start or why countries aren't getting on. But what I want to look at is, how companies can manage this and how they can prepare and react to it.
Yeah, sounds great. So then let's jump into it. So what would be some key things when it comes to managing geopolitical risk?
Okay. Yeah, good question. Briefly, I think the three main things around managing geopolitical risk for a multinational company. First of all, understanding. You can't predict everything, of course, but by actively analyzing, monitoring, and talking about the politics and economics of your region, you can identify, risk as it unfolds. So, for example, we still have a big operation in Ukraine. So, as you might imagine, we were monitoring the developments there last year and early this year, and we were well prepared ahead of the invasion, and we'd evacuated our staff and their dependents from the country. So that early warning gives you time to prepare, and other organizations hadn't done that, so they were having to evacuate in the middle of a conflict, which is not ideal.
So when you say understanding or monitoring, do you mean like a certain data or more, generically the geopolitical aspect, or what do you mean exactly with?
I think it's a number of different things, yeah, but I think it's really, you need resources devoted to monitoring geopolitical developments, and then you need your crisis management team or whatever the equivalent is to be looking at that and monitoring and acting on that as well, if need be. Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that as well. So what are some other key things?
Yeah, another thing you can do in advance is what we call scenario exercises, or sometimes it's called war gaming or red teaming. And this really helps build resilience in the organization and helps you, you're better prepared. And what does that mean? It means like running through a scenario with a team and answering them, how would you react? So it could be a bomb threat, it could be a cyber attack, it could be something non-political like an earthquake. And it's not trying to catch people out or test them. It's just making sure they're more comfortable when responding. And it helps flush out any problems in advance. It could be simple things like, do you have the right numbers in your phone so you can contact people quickly? Do you have a WhatsApp group set up with your team so you can communicate? Do you know where the local hospital is if you need to go there to check on someone? Just simple things like that, which in a crisis can save you a lot of time and effort. And yeah, sorry, carry on.
No, I want to say then the simple things can make a big difference on that end.
They do, absolutely. Yeah, they really do. It can save you a lot of time and effort when you don't have much time in a crisis. And other things you can do kind of alongside that are setting up business continuity plans and processes, and things like alert systems, so you can communicate with your staff really quickly via text message, email, things like that. So you can contact people quickly.
Thank you for sharing that as well. So I kind of want to follow up on that question. So let's say our viewers that are currently listening, if they were to implement something, what would be the first thing they should start implementing, or at least from this chat, what should be the most important thing they can take away to their work life, for example?
I think the biggest takeaway you can do, I think, is prepare. Yeah, and that could be analyzing your situation and doing regular scenario exercises. You know, they really help you prepare for the worst, and they should be done with, you know, your business in countries that might be affected. So if you have an office in a, you know, potentially unstable country, they should conduct, you know, exercises with that team, but also with, you know, your crisis management capacity, which is typically the senior leadership of an organization, because they're the ones that are going to respond to a major incident. And the better prepared they are, you know, the better off you'll be. You know, you'll be able to manage the crisis more easily. And I'll come on to another point about that, actually, about actually dealing with a crisis, you know, because you can prepare as much as, you know, you can, but things come out of the blue, the unexpected can happen. And when that happens, you need clear and quick communication and quick decision making. Some organizations, you know, that I've spoken to, they get bogged down in politics or bureaucracy, or they're not, you know, their crisis management team's not prepared, and decisions take too long. And in a crisis, you know, you can't have that. You have to act quickly, and you got to be comfortable that you might get it wrong, but that happens in a fast moving situation. So the more exercises you do, and the more your crisis management team works together, the better that process will be, and the faster and the more efficient it will be.
Thank you for sharing that takeaway point as well. So from what I hear, it's a lot about exercising, practicing, preparing, and good communicating overall. So yeah. So with that being said, we have unfortunately came to the end of our time for today. So I want to thank you once again for joining today, showing interest in our podcast, and yeah, sharing your insights.
Thank you for having me. It was a real pleasure. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Likewise. Have a great day.
Thank you. Take care.